Hello once again, I'm Don Jackson. A daughter's happiness lights up a father's heart, even if that child is 50 years old. The words of David Dinsdale. This year, another milestone in my family. My daughter has turned 20. She has given my wife and I so much joy and so much to be proud of. It's been an incredible journey as we have watched her personality and character develop over the years. She has finally burst out of her cocoon from childhood and the teen years and has become an intelligent and lovely young woman ready to take on the world. Some thoughts this time around for all of us who have followed a daughter's wonderful journey. This is the heartbeat of the internet. It's a milestone year for both of my children. My son turns 18 this year, and my daughter, as I mentioned, is 20. Where does the time go? I'm sure you've had that very same thought. You know when you notice how much time has passed? When this happens. Pam Brown wrote, "Every scrap of advice, every opinion, every suggestion, every piece of useful information that one gives a daughter vanishes like water into sand. One shrugs and sighs and admits one's offerings were probably of no use anyway, until, long after, a grown-up daughter gives her considered opinions upon some issue, and one recognizes it, word for word." The American writer Pam Brown also penned this thought, and I quote, "Every daughter is a parcel of days remembered. We love them as they are, but also as they were. If we sometimes behave foolishly or scold or interfere, it is because we have before us not only the capable person, but the stubborn 2-year-old, the school child flushed with fever, the teenager wrestling with examinations. Parents suffer from time slips. Forgive us." Rachel Billington in The Great Umbilical wrote, and I quote, "When she goes out of the house, the waves of her expanding personality take some time to die down. When they do, and the flotsam and jetsam she has left, clothes, books, music playing, lights on, have been cleared away, the house is duller. When she returns, throwing her bicycle helmet down the stairs, experimenting with a new maroon lipstick on her mother, asking for a brief resume of the life of Marie Curie while patching her jeans with a portion of dishcloth, life takes on brighter colors." There's one thing about daughters. You're never sure who is going to step out of the chaos they call their room. An impeccably groomed and dignified young woman with her hair in a ballet knot. A multicolored object with meticulously ripped jeans. A determined-looking girl in jodhpurs, smelling faintly of horse. A bleary-eyed student, or someone running a fever and clutching a teddy bear. How dull it will be when she leaves home. End quote. Again, the words of Pam Brown. In my parents' time, there were no cell phones, no internet. Children had to share the house phone with their parents. It was anything but a fair arrangement. Art Frank, in Every Day is Father's Day, wrote, and again I quote, "When our phone rings, it's always for my daughter. When it isn't ringing, it's because she's talking on it. Sometimes when she's on our phone, the neighbors will come over and tell her she's wanted on their phone." End quote. Art really does sum up what it was like back then. There would also come a time when she might ask for her own telephone. Now, it certainly wasn't anything resembling an Android or an iPhone. It most likely would have been a small princess phone that sat on her bedside table. I'm pretty sure that if you're old enough, you can identify with this. Joan I. Welsh wrote, "Undoubtedly, the first man who ever tore a telephone book in half had a teenaged daughter." End quote. Parents still get frustrated today with their teenage children pushing the boundaries. Now, if there's an issue with the phone, the parents can have the phone turned off. It's sort of like tearing a phone book in half, but not quite as dramatic as a father's display of his physical strength. Besides, you have seen a copy of a phone book for a major city, right? Might have been easy to do in the past with a small population, but you'd need to be Arnold Schwarzenegger to do it now. A father who should know a thing or two about parenthood is Bill Cosby. He said, and I quote, "The father of a daughter, especially one in her teens, will find that she doesn't like to be seen with him on the street. She will often ask him to walk a few paces behind. The father should not take this outdoor demotion personally. It is simply a matter of clothes. His are rotten. Every American daughter is an authority on fashion, and one of the things she knows is that her father dresses like somebody in the Mummers Parade." Lori Lee, in the book Two Women, wrote, and I quote, "I've been handed 20-odd years wrapped up in this bundle and hoped to see her grow, learn to totter, to run into the garden and call this place home. But I realized from these beginnings that I got a daughter whose life was already separate from mine, whose will already followed its own directions. Child of herself, and would be what she was. I was merely the keeper of her temporary helplessness." End quote. On a related note, the great actress Helen Hayes once remarked, "Life would give her everything of consequence. Life would shape her, not we. All we were good for was to make the introductions." My daughter's hair has been almost every color of the rainbow. I was shocked at first to hear that she wanted pink hair, then blue hair, then blonde. But she looked beautiful, no matter the hair color. In fact, when she went from one to the next, I would say something like, "Gee, I really like the pink," or the blue, or the blonde, the dark brown. "Why are you changing?" It is like she has a wardrobe of many colors for her beautiful hair. I think that hair color, tattoos, and wild clothes only hint at the complex person inside. They are just an outward expression of what she feels inside. Again, insightful words from American writer Pam Brown, and I quote, "To love a daughter can be difficult at times. They are inclined to shear off the beautiful hair that you have cherished, to dye the stubble magenta, to opt for wearing rags, or worse, to give up the course they made you wheedle the head teacher into allowing, to attach themselves to strange groups and causes, and stranger boyfriends, to frighten you at frequent intervals, to veer between ecstasy and misery, to drop bombshells. They are trying lives on for size. The daughter you know and love is still there." So here we are today celebrating my daughter's 20th birthday. In the moments after she was born, I held her in my arms and cried tears of happiness like I had never felt before. I'll bet there are listeners who remember the night I returned to the radio show after she was born. I couldn't wait to share the good news and tell you all about her. Those listeners who never left the radio program have vicariously shared so many special moments in her life. To be honest, I was frightened at the prospect of being a father. There really is nothing in life that can prepare you for that awesome responsibility. You can use your own parents as an example, or you can throw caution to the wind and take each day as it comes. I've always told both my children that when you become a parent, you are a parent for life. Nothing can ever happen to sever that relationship. Through the many years of her childhood, I helped give her a love for reading and, I hope, writing. I've helped with some of her school projects, and when it came to difficult homework questions, I always gave her the best advice. Ask your mother. I think one of the most amazing things about the age she and my son are both at right now is that we, as a family, can now share a mature conversation. I'm so interested in hearing both their ideas and opinions about life and the world around us. On my daughter's birthday, my personal wish for her is that she realizes everything that she wants from life. I also hope that it will continue to be filled with joy and wonder, and that she keep her heart open for the greatest experience life has in store for us. And that is love. Marion C. Garrity sums up my feelings so well. She wrote, and I quote, "Daughters do wonderful things. Not the wonderful things you expected them to do. Different things. Astonishing things. Better than you ever dreamed." Happy birthday, Christina, from your mother, brother, and I. Your journey continues, and I'm so excited and thrilled to see where it leads. Good night, sweet dreams. I'm Don Jackson.